Okay, this hat I haven't worn for a while, but it's what we call Rumpelstiltskin's hat. Who and what is Rumpelstiltskin? Well, this has been a very popular topic. Um, and Magenta Pixie, if you've heard of Magenta Pixie on YouTube, she had a big 11/11 broadcast, 11/11, November 11th. That broadcast on Magenta Pixie talked about Rumpelstiltskin demonic programs. So, where are we going with this? Okay, this is a DVD for Once Upon a Time TV show. And in the corner, we have Robert Carlyle, the actor who plays Rumpelstiltskin in Once Upon a Time. So, in Once Upon a Time, Rumpelstiltskin is a very talented magical sorcerer, and he has got an evil bent to him. He uses his magic to enrich himself at the expense of others. Okay, what else can we tell about Rumpelstiltskin? Okay, if you listen to the Magenta Pixie Bombshell, it's an unbelievable video. Start watching it at about 5:45, 5 minutes 45 seconds, and just listen to the part about Rumpelstiltskin. It's okay, and then once you hear about that, you understand that Rumpelstiltskin has got all kinds of machinations. Machinations? How do you say that word? Lots of his little plans and schemes. And according to Magenta Pixie, it's not just in the TV show. According to Magenta Pixie, Rumpelstiltskin is actually active in our world. Weird or what? I'm just going to leave it for you for a moment. So what's going on with Rumpelstiltskin, according to Rumpelstiltskin, is alternative reality games. This is a book. Okay, so what is an alternative reality game? It's like if you're going to release a video game, and then you're going to tie in your video game to maybe some websites and some emails. It's basically it's like Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing, alternative, but it's in your real life, more like Pokemon Go. I'm going to switch gears here for a moment. Okay, switching gears. Okay, what happens when a star seed with a high calibrated level of consciousness on the scale of human consciousness, when that star seed incarnates as let's go with human, because they might incarnate as a dog or a whale, you never know. But when that high vibrational spirit incarnates on Earth, for example, or any other place that, let's call it, with a low vibration, a low level of consciousness, what happens? Well, are they going to attract high vibrational people around them? People who believe in law of attraction are going to say, yeah, you're going to attract a whole pile of high vibrational people. What if you incarnate into a family, and the people in the family are below 200 on the scale of human consciousness? In other words, they're demonic humans. You get born into a demonic family. I'm not going to go with law of vibration. I'm going to go with you're in a hell of a state. You might get horrible physical or emotional abuse in this family. You might find that your own physical chi energy in your body is stolen by others, perhaps by horrible arguments. What if you were somebody who could go into these low vibrational states at will. In the movie Constantine with Keanu Reeves, he could go into hell worlds. Constantine. Are the devils in the lower astral going to know anything about you when you go there? Let's say you just show up there. Do you have a lot of glow about you? What kind of glow? Well, Jesus talked about it in the Bible. He said to his disciples and to his people, don't hide your light under a bucket. So Jesus said that his people had light. And he said, don't pretend to be a demon while you're here. You are not a demon, you are a being of light. And shine your light. In other words, be yourself. Don't imitate the demonic bastards all around you. So Jesus said you had light. And if you are one of these high vibrational people, you've got light. Maybe it's not light in the sense of, the light that comes from, that lamp over there, or the sun, but it's some kind of a thing that can be sensed by others. Maybe you have a certain sense of peace around you. Maybe it's in your aura. Maybe it's not really visible to your eyes, but somehow some other sixth sense can feel you. And you end up with a bunch of demons around you. What are the demons going to do? They're going to see your light at its high energy. Why is it high energy? Because you're running lots more chi when you're at a higher vibration. You're running an enormous amount of energy through the body. And these demons are hungry because they're not connected to source, because they're in negative fields of consciousness. On the scale of human consciousness, they're under 200. So they want to steal the energy of those light beings. So what happens when star seeds go into a lower astral place and hang around with lower astral people is that the lower astral people are looking to feed. And that's why quite often people feel totally drained around toxic people. So, if someone goes to sleep and they're at a high vibration, what happens? They go and dream. What happens with their vibration while someone's lying in bed dreaming? Their vibration continues to be at a high level, but they go into another kind of world, a dream world. And who's there? Well, it depends on where you are. You might end up dreaming about something very unpleasant. Are those dream characters, those dream demons, when you have a nightmare, are they real or not? They're in consciousness, so they are real. The things that are going on in your dream are just as real as what's going on here. And some people will testify to it. It's like, I went to bed and I woke up and I had this huge scratches across my chest. And maybe they remember a nightmare, maybe they don't. But, what the hell happened to me while I was asleep to give me these scratches? It's not my fingers. I've got clipped nails. Or, weird, looks like you got bit. And you look around and there's no bed bugs anywhere in your room. So these astral things are real. And when you're awake, you probably don't see them, but they might still be around. You just don't have vision for that astral realm that they're in, the dream realm, because your consciousness has changed the channel. Instead of being set to that dream world where these horrible things are, your consciousness is set to this reality where you are here on the couch. But those other things still might be around you and influencing you and feeding on you. So, what do we want to talk about when it comes to Rumplestiltskin? Rumplestiltskin has an agenda. It's a pretty weird agenda, but his agenda is as follows. He is working to clear out low vibrational entities. Is Rumpelstiltskin a demon? Doesn't sound like it. Why would a demon want to clean out its own area? One reason could be it's hungry and it needs the chi of the other parasitic beings around it. It's like the grasping for food. But the other idea is it's going there to hold space, hold a high vibrational frequency in, for example, the dream world. To see what it's basically fishing. Let's go and bring our light to the dream world and go fishing and see who shows up, who is attracted to our light. And then what happens? Well, some of these parasitical vampire kind of beings in your dream world, or they could appear to be like enormous spiders that are looking to feed on you. It could be anything. But if these ones show up and they get, into your personal space, you might start, having telepathic back and forth with these things. Or they might, why? I don't know why. I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm describing a phenomenon. I can't explain what anything more than this is what empirically is happening. So you might get contaminated. In other words, your vibration might end up dropping to someplace in a demonic field. Why? Well, maybe because you're not fully in control of the whole situation. Maybe they overpower you. They got so much toxic negativity, they overpower the amount of light you had. I'm trying to put it in words, and I really don't know how to do it too well. But I'm trying to explain the phenomenon of what happens when a good person goes bad. A good person who is connected at a high consciousness source field goes into a place where it's totally negative everywhere. And at some point, something happens and the negative overpowers the person's light. Some people say, well, if you're still connected to Source, then you should be able to overpower the demons. Could be, for some people, for some time. But is it the same for all people all of the time? I don't think so. We know that basically humans have moods, right? When they're very high-minded humans and they're very generous and magnanimous, and the same person can, it's like, where did this come from? Where did this horrible side of you come from? So, to wrap it all up, with the Rumpelstiltskin demonic information by Magenta Pixie, we don't know. She didn't give us enough information. But we knew that Rumpelstiltskin sometimes appears to us as a highly toxic being. And other times, when it's not so toxic, it might explain what its agenda is, and it keeps saying its agenda is to go to dark, evil places. I don't want to say dark. Someone keeps reminding me that every time we use the word dark, people sometimes, I don't know why, I mean, it's been used for so long, but they start referring it to skin color. So if I say dark, it's like somehow a slur on, it's a different context. And if I have to keep changing my words because you're inferring that I'm referring to skin color when I'm talking about evil, it's a context. You have to understand context. And this is where we get so like run over by people saying, it's like, seriously, this is the English language. It's very flexible. And you have to understand the context. And, the idea of black magic has been used for so long in human history, and it never, ever referred to people with dark skin. It's evil intentions. And people are like going politically correct on this term. Why? Well, I'm lucky I got white skin, so, I'm a good person. And we all know that's a pile of shit. There's horrible people with white skin. So it's like, it's a change of context, and it ends up being like, I gotta give like a 20-minute interlude to explain this. And, like, can I change the way I talk? I'm going to try. I'm going to try not to talk about black magic or dark magic, and I'm going to call it destructive magic. I'm trying to switch over. Somebody gave us that. But, in the meantime, the reason that we have to keep changing all of our words is because I guess time was on. I'm not pissed off about it. I wish I could just change all the words and keep changing it. It's like a flag flapping in the wind because we keep changing the words. But we're trying to get the meaning across. So with Rumplestiltskin, to me, sometimes everyone in my world has their moments when they are absolutely toxic, me included. So if you are going to be somebody who is has a mission, has an agenda, and what the agenda is to pull in all of these parasitical people and give them a stern whack on the ass and stop being a parasite. But then you go there to give them this information and they capture you, and then next thing you know, you're like C-3PO in one of those recent Star Wars movies, where he was switched, his software was switched for working for the Jedi to working for the Sith. It's dangerous to go into evil places. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous mission. And if you go dark, then you've turned into a demon and you used to work for the other side. Some people say there is no war between destructive and constructive energies or source fields. Some people say it's all consciousness, it's all God. Is it true? For the purposes of our lives, it's not true. Some people are trying to use some theoretical idea that we're all a little bit good and bad or something, and it waters down the whole issue. The whole issue is, if you've got a crime wave going on in your city, and it's traced to certain gangs, are you going to defund the police and say, well, we're all the same, we're all here, this is all the same place, we're all good and bad, so let's just let the criminals go and have home invasions and kill, murder, and maim people? That's illogical. It's illogical in our world. In our world, you can say that's criminal behavior. And we have to point out this stuff because we live in a world where we have got so many systems of control that are actually evil, that keep us from thriving, that promote the wealth of the 1% at the expense of the other 99%. That is reality. Now, there's all kinds of other people who are trying to explain metaphysically, it's your fault because your vibration was shitty, and that's what was attracted to you. And just keep your vibration up and you'll be high. But if you kept your vibration up high, how are you going to get to one of these dark hell worlds where you want to do your mission of catching these bad actors? So it's way oversimplified in these other people's talks, way oversimplified. And when Rumpelstiltskin goes to an evil place, and if he ends up becoming a Sith, well, when he comes back to us, what's our job? Our job is pretty much to change him back to a light being. And that's when the demonic Rumpelstiltskin appears, and various other people who are doing these kind of missions. And, if there's a demonic Rumpelstiltskin, who knows me, I might experience that, and I do. But it's part of the mission. And when I'm in the middle of demonic attack from someone that I know, it doesn't matter. It's still demonic, and it is a horrible, terrifying ordeal. So why do we do it? Can't stop it. It's just, it's a given mission. For Rumpelstiltskin, for Clancy, for Brant, and a bunch of other people who are doing this kind of work. So, if you hear Rumpelstiltskin was demonic in Magenta Pixie's video, he was. But it doesn't mean that he's demonic right now. He's got a mission, and it's basically to, because he's a fifth dimensional elf from the elf kingdom. And in the elf kingdom, they're working very hard to help planet Earth become a paradise, the paradise it was always meant to be. And humans have been doing such a horrible job that these other kingdoms that you might call mythical but are real are working, and they've got people going on these very hard missions to not only collect up the vampires in the dream world, but to kick the people in the ass in the human world who are acting demonic, getting them to have an opportunity to change. Because the messages that do get delivered to demonic beings. And is there a war? Well, if the light side had its way, the war would be over, and everyone would be friends, and everyone would be high vibration. But that's not the way it plays out in our reality. The way it plays out in our reality, maybe it's more like a war. A war for planet Earth between the ones who want paradise and high vibrational living and those who want to own Earth and be its evil emperor. That's your update.